Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cropper here. I believe I'm about to be joined by Tony Corbett. Tony Corbett is going to be calling me on FaceTime. Do I call you? He says FaceTime. I call you then? Allow my microphone, yes. Tony Corbett ringing. Tony, what's...
Let's cover what we do. Is there any way we can do this through FaceTime so I can have you on my laptop?
Oh, yeah. I was waiting for you to call me. Are you going to call me when you're ready?
No, can you do it? Because I actually only use my my desktop to watch YouTube videos when I work on my iPad.
Okay, so how do I... What okay.
Well, I was going to figure that out, but how are you, my friend?
I'm doing very well.
Before we figure this out, I must say it's an absolute pleasure to see you get active again on social media.
Yeah, I'm having fun a little bit. I'm having a little bit of fun.
And I really must say your artwork is quite shit, but I love it.
My what's quite shit?
Your artwork.
Thank you.
Because I love shit artwork done for a genuine reason. And the genuine,
right.
and I can prove that right now because my mother loves art. She loves painting. She has the skill of it and stuff. But I've seen your progression. It's quite nice.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm having fun with it.
May I show? But now, I'm not saying that you're a shitty artist. I'm saying right now your art is shit.
Yeah.
It's the progression of it. Being an artist is not about the. It is not about the end result, because otherwise you would just take the photograph.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it is about the attempt to do it. It is the expression that is beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something in that I still haven't fully wrapped my head around, but it is something. If you wanted a photograph, you'd take a photograph, but a piece of art that says the same thing as a photo, not exactly the same thing because you leave out certain details. You just put in what's important. So it's like an edited photo. You edit for the purposes of whatever your purpose is.
What you're doing is you're using your discretion to express what was beautiful about that image. And that is what art is. So if you may, I'm glad we didn't get onto the desktop yet because I would love to show you my mother's art.
Yeah, let's see it.
Which is, by anybody's stretch of imagination, is awful. But to me, it's so beautiful. And it's hanging in my hallway. And I'd be very proud to show this to you. And once I show this to you, you'll fully understand what I mean. So, hold on. So that's a Chinese garden.
Oh.
And she took a photo, and that's a photograph she took when she went to China.
That's a photograph, you say?
No, it's a painting of a photograph she took.
Oh, I see.
In China.
Yeah, that is rather poorly done, isn't it? And it's got skill. I can see that she has skill.
It doesn't matter that it's poorly done. What matters is it's done and it's in my house and it's hanging on my wall.
Yeah. No, I mean...
So this is my house, this is my apartment, this is my condo in Boston, and it's... She was so proud giving that to me, and I was like, cool. And I think the best compliment I ever got was like, Tony, did you get that from Target? I was like, no, actually, my mother painted it. And here's her signature.
Very nice.
And here's her rendition of Boston.
Oh, lovely. Oh, very nice.
So you can kind of get what I'm talking about, why I appreciate your art.
Yeah.
Which is nice, and I love the way you discuss it. I've been following you since like you were I said this to you before, right? You said you went on YouTube, you wanted something intellectual, and there was nothing there.
Yeah.
Or you created something.
Yeah.
And then you did a poem and stuff. But there was I grew up in a working class Irish family. There was nothing intellectual about it at all. And there was, it was all rhetoric more than dialectic. And then I found you, and dude, you opened up so many doors for me.
Yeah,
And
you've been around for about 10 years or more. You've been watching.
I would even say, I would say, I probably would have picked you up like when you first started doing it, you know, and I learned a lot from you, you know, so, and as well, you one time you threatened that if you didn't get enough subscribers, you were quitting YouTube. You didn't, and then you didn't, and you quit. And then you came back 10 years later, and you were like, what the fuck? Stefan Molyneux's got fucking a million subscribers. You're like, fuck.
What the fuck happened around here while I was gone? Yeah.
Yeah, it's because you're too free. You're too free flowing.
Yeah.
You're too free flowing. You have a shorter niche. It's like I used to like Stefan Molyneux, and now Stefan Molyneux is actually literally what my wife wants to listen to so we can go to sleep.
She likes him then, huh?
Well, so she can go to sleep. Well, she's picking up on his ideas along the way, and I'm like, turn Stefan Molyneux off. She's like, why you used to like him? I was like, Stefan Molyneux hasn't said anything new in 10 years.
Yeah, that's right.
He hasn't said anything new.
Yeah.
It's
I don't particularly dislike him, except he's just like psychobabble, and he's trying to appeal to racists nowadays. And
it's not only that, is he just completely thinks that he is the one thing that really pisses me off is he thinks he's a wordsmith. He's not a wordsmith.
Right.
Let's try to figure out this FaceTime thing. So.
All right. So you want me to now? So I'm going to call you back once you're on some other device.
No. I could figure this out. You know what I'll do? I'll get my iPad. I just don't want to hold my phone up. I want to relax like you were. So I'll get my iPad. But it's like he has basically what he's doing is he's just doing everything that's been done before.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like there's no new take. It's like if a new event or something happens, I'm like, I already fucking know what he's going to say. I'm not going to get a new opinion. I'm going to just get fucking, okay, this is what he's going to think.
Yeah. Not only that, he says it over and over and over too. He's got like 15 videos on Epstein now.
Yeah, it's just like be concise, have a development, have something. And what really pisses me off is that he thinks because he does some dramatical training, he thinks he's fucking give me a good character from Shakespeare.
He thinks he's Diego. No, let's see.
No.
Who's in Hamlet that...
He thinks he's fucking Hamlet. He thinks he's Hamlet. He thinks he's Hamlet. He's like, excellent. Well, what can I say about him? But it is only for the tyranny of the state gone upon this dark hour. His acting is terrible. His ideas are fucking stale. Anybody interested in this kind of shit knows it already. And that's why he has had to turn himself into an agony aunt.
Yeah.
But he's not qualified to fucking do. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, if I was in a fucked up relationship, I'd have some advice for you. You know what I mean? He's like, okay, so you experienced the mass murder of your entire family by a Mexican cartel when you were only 5. Well, I know exactly about that because my mother used to be mean to me. All right, so okay, I'm gonna hang up and I'm gonna message you on my iPad.
Okay. All right. So is it gonna come back in here? I'll close. All right. Now we're still rolling. Okay. All right, now.
Yeah, but he thinks he's qualified because he had a terrible childhood.
Yeah, he's psychobabble, and he hasn't said anything original the whole time I've ever known him.
Well, even when you knew him, you knew about the material, and you were like maybe because like when I got into the whole Liberty deal, it was through you, and I figured the whole thing out. Now I'm so skeptical. I just don't even think I really. I know. Oh, so this is Brandon Cropper.
Oh, hello.
This is my wife Joanne.
Hello.
So Brandon was Mr. Cropper. He was my first intellectual. What do you call it? Educator, I suppose.
Oh, something like that. Yeah. What the hell?
Yeah. So he was the first person who introduced me to the ideas of liberty.
Oh, cool.
You know. So,
Where are you, Brendan?
And I hear that you're a fan of Stefan Molyneux now, or Stefbot as he used to be called.
Tony hates him.
I don't hate him, but she really enjoys. She thinks it's like people have apps where there's rain coming down.
I love his voice. It's I don't know. I can't go to sleep without
He
listening
literally
to
bores her to death every night.
He's got a nice voice to listen to, right? To just loll out to just not worry about, right?
So no, she's really getting into him. No, he's an agony aunt.
Yeah, Tony can't take him anymore. She's like, for fuck's sake. And just,
Oh,
shit.
well, what pisses me off is he's an agony aunt, and then he just says, "Well, if you want to come here, we're the biggest philosophy channel." That's not philosophy, dude.
No.
You're not good
Well, he
philosophy.
started kind of winning out. Now he's doing like all this stuff
Well-
on like immigration, like
Well-
in
Yeah, so no,
California.
he's a right-wing nutjob.
Yeah.
Lauren Southern and stuff, yeah.
And then he kind of like calmed down. I think what happened to him was scared because he was going to get like deplatformed like everybody else. So he's kind of like,
He censored himself, yeah.
I think so.
He might. I expect to be deplatformed any minute.
No, you won't.
Are you on YouTube?
You won't.
Are you on YouTube?
Dude,
Am I on YouTube?
he's the
Yeah.
first YouTuber I ever encountered.
Really?
You're going to be on YouTube. I'm recording this. This is going to go to YouTube.
Oh,
Shut
John,
up.
you better get out of here.
It's just a bunch of philosophy. I only get a couple hundred views at the most. It's just a bunch of philosophy geeks, like this guy here, Tony.
Are you really recording?
So how about we start off again?
No.
So she doesn't want to be on YouTube.
No.
All right, we'll do it live.
Shut up, Tony.
We'll do it live.
No.
So Joanne, I want to get into this stuff. This is my
You're not talking.
when I was like 23. This guy was my hero.
Really?
Yeah,
See?
he was my hero. Yeah, he was the first.
You've been on YouTube that long?
Yeah, my first video was about 12 years ago on there, I think. Right back after the Janice Jackson's nipple came out.
Oh, wow.
I missed
How
that
many
one.
followers do you have?
What's that? How many followers? Like 2,800?
Really?
Most of them have been destroyed by the apocalypse, though. They don't get notifications of my videos anymore.
Well, that's when you gotta get a MailChimp service or something.
Yeah, I'm getting back. I'm doing an interview this Sunday with Rucka Ali. You guys know who that is?
Mm-mm.
He's famous for these parody songs that do these racist parodies and stuff. You should look him up. He's an objectivist who makes comedy songs, and they're famous. They get 60, 70 million views, these songs.
That's cool. That'd be cool.
You got to look him up. Imagine an objectivist doing rap songs. That's Rucka. So,
Well,
Is any chance to just talk to Mr. Cropper about himself? He's my hero.
why?
Just because we can't get into it, like.
Why?
we'll get more views if there's a lady in the philosophical discussion here.
Oh, okay. Can you edit out the sexist thing I just did?
No,
No.
I'm gonna own that.
Alright, sorry. Well, sit down, Dave. You're gonna be famous.
No.
This week.
Can I hang out?
Alright, okay.
I wish I could have a glass of wine with you. I quit drinking though.
Did you?
Yeah,
Look, you didn't.
I
You
did.
stopped drinking. You didn't quit drinking.
Yeah, stops drinking.
I was meant to do that, and then I had a long day today. I was driving home from work. It's like, Claire will die.
The 2,800 people are going to see this.
Yeah, look what, like,
200 people are gonna see it.
200 people going to see. You know
Oh
what I mean?
yeah, but anyway, so we were talking.
Can we start again here?
We've been recording since the beginning of your first call on the other device.
Oh shit. Siobhan, please.
I'm not Amy. I could be anybody.
Everyone's going to know who you are. I'll get doxxed and that's the end of it.
Well, but anyway, can I tell? So I was.
You're not telling me, you're telling everybody.
So
I was telling y'all week. I was like, I want to stop drinking.
So you
And
don't
Hold on a second here. Hold on a second.
drink as long as you can. Enjoy it while you can. Now I'm drinking water.
But legit, I got like
Joanne,
4.
you're live on YouTube now.
Stop.
You're live on YouTube.
All right. Why?
I wanted to hear more of her opinion on StephBot.
She just thinks she's like level 1. Alright, go. She's getting her phone out. See, like, she's not talking to me now. Alright, so she's like, she was like, Tony, does the government really do that? So she's like level 1 libertarian right now. So she's not full anarchist, but there's a whole cycle of you start off like you start off as a social justice warrior.
Everybody starts off there, right?
Like I found an old T-shirt I was wearing one time, and I was like, oh my god! I put up a photograph of myself on YouTube on phone, and I was wearing a Che Guevara T-shirt. And I put it up and says, I cannot fucking believe I was wearing a Che Guevara T-shirt. And my best friend says, how do you think I feel? He goes, I have a 2-foot long, big crucifix tattooed on his back. He goes, I've got a 2-foot long crucifix of Jesus on my back and I'm an atheist.
Oh, I'm glad I never got tattoos.
well, I wouldn't get a tattoo either. You know, Leviticus and all that kind of stuff. You can't get tattoos. But, I mean, your opinions change over time, except you. You read The Fountainhead and I was like, okay, that's it.
That's it, yeah.
What are the filters you have that you process everything? Like, there has to be a way that your opinions don't change about shit, but you must have a filter process.
Let's see. I think the rough and tumble growing up on a farm and sort of the real honesty that it takes to farm gave me the sort of attitude that I can look at reality and understand reality better than other people. Yeah, I think so.
Or you could see a guy drive by with a nice car and says, oh, that guy must have fucking cut a lot of corn to get that.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you might have seen when you were going to market with all your corn and stuff, and it's like, well, I can see, I see how this works. We grow it, we cut it, and that guy buys it and ships it and sells it and stuff. So you could see the value chain.
Well, I've seen more interesting stuff than that. I've seen like a guy running a tractor obviously too fast when there was obviously a mechanical problem occurring, and a normal person would have stopped and fixed the bolt or whatever was loose. And he went ahead and did about $60,000 worth of damage to it. So it's
you see the stupidity.
Stupidity, yeah. It's like, be honest and take care of the situation. You know, reality's real, and if you don't watch it, reality will bite you in the ass. You can't ignore things. You can't fake your way through shit.
So a perfect example of this is when a transgender person is going to have testicular cancer.
Yeah, that's the next point I was going to make. I was going to go to that example.
Because reality has a pendulum. No matter how far you push it, it will hit you in the face. It's like a credit. Right now, society has a credit card, and they're using up their limit of bullshit, and reality is coming back.
Yeah,
the
pendulum.
Really back.
That's a good way to put it. The pendulum has swung too far, and we
like there used to be a time where it would swing, and there used to be a nice period of time where the pendulum was in the middle. That's where all the productive stuff is done. Now it's just now the next time it comes back, it's gonna just destroy all the bullshit.
It does every time, though. Every time it swings back and forth, it destroys a bunch of shit.
Yeah, so like, I have no sympathy for anybody. It's like I go to Starbucks and I say, "Can I just get a coffee?" And leave some room for cream. I've been to Starbucks in a couple of different countries now. They never leave enough room, and I have to pour it into their trash bag and they have to carry it out later. Don't learn. But they try to invent a new language. They're like, "Oh, you mean a venti? You mean this or whatever the fuck they're saying?" I'm like, no, I want fucking coffee. What you're making is coffee.
A large coffee, please.
Fucking venti. I want a coffee this size and this much room for cream. And you don't give me enough room. I'm going to pour it in the trash bag. You're going to have to carry it out. Reality is, I'm getting my coffee, a large one with cream in it, and that's it. You'll deal with the mess later.
Yeah.
If you'd listened to me in the first place, it would have been fine. But now they've got fucking 7 gallons of coffee leaking all over the place. Did they have to clean it? Or they could have just listened to what the person was saying in the first place.
Yeah.
No, like, this whole... Oh, you know what? There's something I want to ask you about. Right, so... Do you remember that when conservatives back in the 90s were saying if we legalize gay marriage, it's going to end up with pedophilia?
Yeah.
And everybody was saying...
Everybody said that's crazy.
And I was like, that's crazy. So what was the argument for gay marriage? The argument for gay marriage was, what 2 consenting adults will do in the privacy of their own bedroom is none of your business. I was like, okay. Fair enough.
Right?
No, we've got fucking parades. No, we have fucking parades where it's in our face every day. It's not the privacy of the bedroom. It's like
even back then,
funded.
Even back then, though, Leonard Peikoff surprised me by saying that that gays do not have a right to marriage. The state should be able to define what marriage is, and if marriage is for the purpose of a family, a man and a woman starting a family, and the taxes that go on with that, if that's what marriage is, if the state defines it as a man and a woman, then that's what marriage is. So Peikoff said that there's no right to gay marriage, and I said I don't know how we can stand on that. I mean, let's just give them gay marriage. What can it matter? But apparently now it's going completely out of control.
So you agree we do have to have some social moral standard?
We got to stop somewhere, yeah.
And I think that we should just have some basic fucking... I'm not saying that we burn all the gay people. My uncle's gay. I hope he never sees this. But it's on your channel, so nobody's going to see it.
Nobody's going to see this shit.
I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Just intellectuals like you. You know what kind of nerd you are. You and your type are going to run across this video.
If someone stops me at Starbucks and recognizes me from this, he's like, yo, they didn't give me enough room for cream either. but seriously, we do have to have a moral standard somewhere. And it's like...
Hey, quiet in there.
Well, the whole time when I was trying to be cool and be like, oh, you know what, who cares, blah, 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 it's the libertarians, the individual. I'm telling you, dude, it's, you got to think about the group too. Because if it's everybody's about the individual, we end up with this nonsense.
I don't think these people are about the individual. They're still not about the individual. They're about smaller and smaller groups that'll do more and more damage. Hey, I'm recording right now. Go and be quiet, or I'm going to get my belt out and start whipping you. That's a joke. I've never hit either of them. I've never hit them.
Well, you know what? I was about to tell Joanna if she bumps in here again, I'll get my belt out and whip her as well.
This is going to be the most misogynistic video on my channel since yesterday afternoon.
No, listen, it is completely unacceptable to whip inferior members of the family. Okay? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Did you see the meme I posted about I want to fight with the leftivists?
I've been seeing that quite a lot, yeah. So I know leftivists.
With the guy holding the American flag and the shotgun?
Oh, yeah, exactly. So here's an interesting perspective for you, right? So, my brother was brainwashed Bill Maher liberal. So basically, someone who watches Bill Maher thinks he's informed, right? So that's fine. Bill Maher's more woke in the 2012 sense. Like, he's more aware of reality than most people know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's the right of everybody now.
Yeah.
So he was like a Bill Maher fucking left guy, and because he's not active on the internet, and I'm active on the internet, so I was like, I realised something, that what gets discussed on the internet and the arguments we would have ends up being mainstream shit 5 years later. So he thought I was this right-wing fucking nut job, and I was like, dude, you don't know what's coming down the pike. And he's just like, he hates Trump, so he's like, as soon as Trump is out of office, I'm voting Republican, but until then. But Trump is his necessary evil.
His necessary evil, so he voted for him?
I couldn't personally vote for him, and it wouldn't have mattered anyway, because I'm an immigrant myself. I have a lot of friends are immigrants, but I was rooting for him. Even if I did vote for him, because of the electoral college system, it wouldn't have mattered. I live in Massachusetts.
Yeah, I'm in Quebec.
But I do agree with everything Trump says.
Yeah, with everything he says.
And I actually used to think Trump was an absolute clown when he was a reality TV star. So he was an absolute clown. So one day I was actually in here, doing some paperwork, and my wife Joanne came in and says, "Tony, this is what you can't check with this Trump guy." But that asshole goes, "Tony, he's saying everything you say." What? So yeah. I consider myself proto-Trump.
Yeah, I'm very happy that Trump. I think he's turned out way better than we ever could have hoped for.
I actually researched him after the fact, and I can say one thing about the man: he's consistent.
Yeah.
And I can say another thing I love about him is they criticize him because he's a reality TV star. It's like, well, you know what? He was a perfect ninja for the ninja. It's like, if you want to fight a ninja, get another ninja. So he was a media master. So now he's fighting the media.
Yeah.
So for example, Mike Cernovich spoke about this. Is what he did is he disrupted the news cycle, because the news cycle used to go breaking news, analysis, discussion, analysis of the analysis, and it was 24 new. And then so the model was every 24 hours you need a story. You focus on the story, and here's what we keep up the ratings. So what he did is says, all right, fuck it. So what he did, he bombarded them bullshit all the time.
Yeah.
So another tweet, this bullshit, and then by the time they're figuring out the first story and they're all pissed off, he just signed the trade deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like one good thing I heard about him is, don't ever take anything Trump says serious. Wait 48 hours.
Right. Yeah.
And as well, he tells willful lies. He does lie, but he is lying to, get his policy through.
Yeah. To throw them off balance.
Really he's deceiving deceivers.
Yeah, he's throwing them off balance. Yeah.
Exactly. He's using jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
He's fucking them over. And he's brilliant. Like, one of the best ones ever was they weren't reporting on. They were under-reporting on his crowds. They were like just they would only do a thing on the stage. Like, you could only see him, but he would go back and look at all the reports and stuff and go, oh, look at them, they never show the crowds.
Yeah.
They didn't show the crowds. And then he was like, oh, we got the fake news here, we got the fake news there. Oh, look at them. Look at the crowd we have. They never report on the. He forced them to show the crowd.
Right.
Yeah. He's just one step. He was the number one show on TV. And when he was there, I didn't respect him. But the way he can manipulate media is amazing.
Yeah.
He sends the stock markets up and down with a tweet.
Yeah, it's true.
I thought that was genius. That was literally a genius.
No, that's scary. I don't think the president should have that much power. In the 1800s, it didn't matter what the president did, the economy was going to go ahead and do its own thing. You know, the president had very little power in the 1800s. I wish we could go back to that.
We don't live in the 1800s.
I wish we did.
Well,
including tariffs.
Not me. I quite like my flushing toilet over here. You know, we have our pros and cons.
In the 1800s, they invented the plane, the train, and the automobile. In the 1900s, we invented the computer.
Well, Peter Thiel has a very interesting perspective on that, that we've actually come to an innovation thought. And his opinion on that is because the only thing that wasn't regulated was computers and digital technology. And he says the only reason they haven't been regulated is because lawmakers can't understand it.
Well, they're getting around to the regulation. If they break up Facebook and Google and stuff, then the regulations are going to start getting in there. I mean,
well, here's the thing: it is a de facto monopoly better than a forced monopoly?
There's no such thing as any.
Because right now, the U.S. government, with the First Amendment, is doing a better job of free speech than these private monopolies, who aren't private.
Yeah, they're in dirty with the government. That's a big problem.
So they're no longer private. If the CIA can access your Facebook records, they have to be regulated the same way as the First Amendment. Simple as that.
I'm afraid that's not going to help either, though. If we have the government controlling the internet, that's what I want is to get the government out of it. I mean, right now they have these special definitions of what is a publisher and what is a platform, and they're getting
It's as simple as this. If you can let anybody you want to, if you can let a fucking Nazi, a transgender teenager on the same platform, that's a pretty good spectrum of what a free speech platform is. But if you're choosing what gets published and what not, then you're a publisher, and then you should be held to the same esteem. So, for example, it's documented that Ireland just voted for abortion through referendum, which is famous, which is the best way to have a democratic vote. But Mark Zuckerberg says, we noticed that there was American conservative groups that want to do anti-abortion ads in Ireland. So he says, so we went to the government and said, hey, these guys want to do anti-abortion ads. And so what should we do? And the Irish government says, well, I mean, you do whatever you want. You know, I mean, your business, do whatever you want. So we decided not to do it. So then I inquired and said, okay, well, did they do pro-abortion ads? And they did.
Wow.
So, the whole Bill of Rights and all that shit, right? It wasn't so much about the power of the government. It was talking about power in itself. And what it was really talking was the power of the individual, right? And it doesn't matter, before it was the power of the king, then it was the government, the power of the people, then the government's too powerful. What it really boils down to is the power of oneself and the power of other people above yourself, the power of expression. And that's just the way it's always going to be. So the struggle will always be, what is the right balance? And unfortunately, as you well know, some people don't care about their own autonomy, their own sovereignty or anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, I really believe that these overlords we have came to the conclusion, well, most of these people are stupid anyway. Fuck it, we'll just tell them what to think. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's what I think. And you know what? Maybe they're fucking right. I don't know.
I don't know. I think we can see in Hong Kong, those people know where the good stuff is over here in America, right?
Yeah, they're a high IQ race of people who actually were able to witness in their lifetime change of structure.
Yeah.
So it's China fucked up. They should have boiled the frog. They just jacked it up to 9.
Yeah.
And then 10. And they fully boiled it. And now the frogs are jumping out.
Yeah.
Ironically, they're using Pepe means over there, which is really pissing off leftists.
Yeah.
I love cognitive dissidence with the leftists right now. My favorite cognitive dissidence of all time will be a Muslim attacking a gay person in London. What the leftists going to do now?
Well, if they didn't get it from the nightclub shooting we had in America, of course they have to ignore that. That was a Muslim killing more gay people than have ever been killed in one single episode in the history
Excuse me,
of
Mr. Cropper.
America.
Excuse me, Mr. Cropper. Can I ask you a question? Was that shooter white?
He was Muslim.
No, was he white? Was he a white guy?
No, he was Middle Eastern.
Okay. Unless he's white, we're not talking about it, okay?
Right. Off the table. Yep.
We need to only focus on a white person. You know, like there was a standoff with in a black neighborhood, Philadelphia.
Uh-huh.
The news. Doesn't matter, he wasn't a white guy.
Right.
I actually resent the fact of being classified as a white guy as an Irishman.
We didn't used to let you be white back when you all first got here.
Yeah, but I resent the fact that I am now considered the same as like a country bumpkin from Utah, and you know what I mean. It's like we're like here's the biggest psyop ever. I'm only joking when I called you a country bumpkin from Utah.
That's actually funny because 95% of my DNA is British Isles and 5% is Denmark.
But you grew up in Utah, right?
But I grew up in Utah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm only kidding. But here's my point, right? Here's my point, right?
Yeah.
By calling us all white people, you completely eradicate all the nuance. You completely, what you're doing is you're belittling Western culture.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's a white guy. Oh, no, I'm not a fucking white guy. I'm an Irishman. I'm a fucking Irishman. That's an English. Now, growing up in Europe, growing up in Ireland, right there, I never considered myself a European, right? I never considered an English or a Scottish person a West European either. We were our own thing.
You all have a wall in Ireland. There's a wall in Belfast, isn't there?
No, there's not a wall.
There's a wall.
No, there's a border.
There's a wall.
A border.
They put a wall between the two neighborhoods that fight.
Oh yeah, that wall. Yes. There is.
There's a wall.
We can get. I'll get to that. You're very right. I'll get to that. But my point being is this: even inside France, even inside France, you call a French person just a French person. You're completely negating their culture.
Yeah.
You know, I'm from Toul. Go to fucking Italy. People from Venice consider us as Venetians, all right? By just lumping us all together as fucking white guys. So if a dude from Alabama fucks a pig and he's white, then you can say a white man fucks a pig and say, whoa, no. And a guy from Alabama did it, right? If someone says an Irish man fucked a pig, I would feel shame. I'm like, my people did that. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So like the bullshit that everybody's white is bullshit. We have to have a bit of nuance.
yeah.
You know,
The individual is the smallest minority, though. So.
it is, but I think a nation. I think a good jumping off point would if we could have nations again. It's like I'm part of the Irish nation. You're part of Europe. You're from a European nation. You're a white guy. Big deal.
Now, my nation's going to be the United States of America, and I think yours is too, because you live here.
Good point, right? I'm a United States citizen. A passport's right up there.
Yeah.
But if you go to the root word of nation, it's natty. You know.
I used to drink natties.
So the true term of the sense nation. Are you still there?
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, to be part of a nation, you have to be in relation to everybody else. So in Ireland, I am blood related to everybody in that nation. The English are blood related to everybody in their nation. You know, the Germans are blood related. You can even, if I go on a DNA site, which I have done, it can even locate it down to my region. You know, so you're blood related to people. So Natty, nation, what you're related to. You know, and that goes then to the debate of nationalism. Are you a nationalist or a civic nationalist? You know, and there's all these things. Now, if you're just a nationalist, you take people for what they are because they're part of your extended greater family. When you're a civic nationalist, you have no choice of who you're involved with.
So you propose that these nations would work better if they're more racially homogenous.
What I am saying is, it doesn't matter what I propose or you propose. I was saying that the definition of a nation is your relation to each other, and
Well,
that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying that
well,
I'm saying that nations that are culturally and historically and genetically related to each other work in harmony.
well, why is the most stable and long-lived nation on the planet today the mongrel United States?
That's not the most long-lived nation, and it's not a nation by definition.
Yeah,
No, it's not. It's not a nation. It's not the strongest, and it's not the most long-lived.
it's the most long-lived. By what definition? By the definition of our written laws.
Excuse me. All right, you're an objectionist, right? All right, so define nation.
It's just a geographic encompassment of a government.
Oh, no, incorrect. Nation, going back to what I was saying, is a people genetically related to each other with a common culture and history and set of standards and ideas. That's a nation. All right? What you're talking about is a country.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Okay. Most long lived, have you heard of the Roman Empire?
In the modern world, I say. Now
But the modern world began 500 years ago.
I can even do the Roman Empire probably because they had so many different changes
Hold
of government.
when did the modern era begin? When was the beginning of the modern era?
I'll put 1787 as the beginning of the United States, but you can.
The modern empire, the modern era came into existence with the creation of Westphalia. The first nation state the first nation state was Westphalia. All right.
What year?
Bismarck.
Bismarck?
Dude,
What
you tell
year?
me.
What year? I don't know what year you mean.
What was the first nation state?
The first nation state. I don't know. Athens?
When was the first nations? They talk about nations in the Bible. Right? No, granted, America was, and I say, and still is great, but we peaked in 65, 1950 peaked. We're going to have technological advancement, but
I'm waiting for this peak. We're still peaking. We got fracking, baby.
Fracking is pretty cool.
We've surpassed Saudi Arabia as an oil producer.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
You know what? I can just say one thing about Donald Trump is he completely came in there. This is what I call a leader. He came in there, kicked me in the balls, slapped me on the head, and said, "Look, dummy." And I was like, "Oh, I guess you're right." That's what you call a leader.
So you were skeptical about him at first? You thought he was an idiot?
I thought he was an idiot until he ran for president.
Yeah,
I admired him greatly.
I thought it was all just a publicity ploy.
Yeah.
That's what I told my wife. She says from the other room, "Trump's running for president." I said, that's just a publicity thing. It's just a stunt.
But it turns out the man is a literal patriot. And he has literally said the same things for 35 years.
Yeah, it is amazing.
And when I researched him, I couldn't find an inconsistency. And all the shit that people throw at the guy, It's like he's only just disrupting the media. He is disrupting the media, and he's in the true sense of the term, he's a civic nationalist. He believes in civic nationalism. I'm a civic nationalist. So I believe if we all hold the same ideals, we can have a nation, like we were discussing.
Yeah.
In the true sense of the term of what a nation really is, it's really a people, you know. So that's why the Jews were able to keep a cohesive unit during the fact they were kicked out of 109 countries over their whole, experience in the Western world. They got kicked out of Egypt as well, or they left, whatever. They're talking about that. But they just got a real bum deal all the time. And, and now they're just, because they kicked their nation, they're great people.
Yeah, they spread bad ideas and bad philosophy, and they often bring this shit on themselves. Karl Marx was a Jew, so.
Well, it's like,
but
I'm just saying.
If it were up to me, I would have Israel take over the whole fucking Middle East, the whole fucking place.
Well, that's what they're doing. It's called Greater Israel. If it was up to me, I would just keep fracking the shit out of stuff, stop buying their oil, and I'd probably close down the shipping lanes and put up a defense network around fucking America and have an independent, free capitalist society and be Atlantis when the rest of them are nuking the shit out of each other.
If it were up to me, we'd go take Saudi Arabia back. That's our oil. We're the ones that developed it.
Well, you know what? The cheek of those motherfuckers having our oil underneath their sand.
That's what I keep saying. You too, huh?
Well, America fucked up by saying propping up a king. The puppet became the emperor.
Yeah, well, we went over there and paid them all. We said, oh, where's the king? We'll pay the king. And the king was a fucking sitting on a camel inside a fucking tent over there, and we paid him millions of dollars. Now look where we are.
What I'm about to say next is definitely going to get you deplatformed. You ready?
Let's do it.
I'm only kidding. So, basically, the way it works over there is they go to fucking money. They don't know what to do with it. And they got so much money, like, well, what we doing? Oh, well, let's build France got Paris. They're like, well, why don't we build a Paris?
Let's have a Paris.
But here's what they do, right? So they fly over the world's best fucking architects, engineers. They get the best companies from all over the world. They come in, they do everything. It's great. I have buddies that work there as engineers, and they say it's the most racist place on earth. Mm-hmm. It's basically because the Arab is the king, right? When you're walking around, but he has to be a highborn. He goes, oh, you still see some fucking dudes like decided over a donkey or stuff, but in the resorts in the areas, because I'm like the next down from an Arab. So the rich Arabs like that, Yeah. So he goes, I can get anywhere. I don't have to show ID. He goes, why? He goes, oh, my skin. I'm a white guy.
Nice.
So they value Westerners so much, and he was just telling the fucking truth.
Yeah.
And then he was saying, he goes, and then the Filipinos are the tradesmen.
Uh-huh.
So like I'm an Irish man I'm an Irish immigrant in America. I'm a tradesman, right? So there you go. That's fine.
Right.
That's fine. That's my station. I love it. That's what I excel the best at.
Uh-huh.
Right? Fine. And then he goes, so the Filipinos have those, but they look down their fucking nose. Like, I can meet a fucking millionaire. I could be working in a millionaire's house. In America, he just treats me fucking nice. He's like, how you doing? What's your name? What's grand? Where you from? Oh, I play golf there. That's cool. Have a nice day. They won't even fucking talk to him.
Wow.
Then he says the laborers are from fucking Pakistan. So my dude is from Ireland, and he's watching multiple different societies with multiple different caste systems operating. He's a fucking Westerner. As Westerners, the only caste is your ability.
Yeah.
Is your only caste as a Westerner. So he, as a Westerner, fucking goes to this place where all these other cultures highly caste, and he's like, Tony, it's a fucking shit show. And the best one yet is like the guy's digging. So he's an electrical engineer. So he's like, "Oh, we're gonna put this shit here, put that stuff there." He got so pissed off one time because he said, "Tony, the Pakistani dudes and the Bangladeshi dudes that were the laborers. He goes, if you give one of them a promotion, they won't even talk to anybody anymore that they used to work with."
Wow.
And then he says, and then they grow their baby fingernail long as an indication they no longer. So if you take a guy digging a trench, you say, "You know what, you're doing a good job digging that trench. I'm going to put you in charge of people digging a trench." He'll grow his fingernail long to show he doesn't do manual labor anymore.
Wow.
So he got pissed off one day. He said he came in with a hangover, and he was so pissed off at this social injustice. He had a very unique way of bringing everybody back down to the stuff. He said, "I went in, I was drinking, I was dying for a shit. I went to the bathroom and it was blocked up again. So he went to a different facility and he goes, you know what? Fuck this." Right? And he'd got fucking 300 guys working for him. And he's the same age as me, but he's on the desert. He says, "We're going to unblock this sewer pipe." So he had everyone stop what they're doing, dig up the sewer pipe like that. And he was purposely doing it to get the guy who just got promoted 2 weeks ago with his long fingernails to get in the fucking hole with the shit.
Nice.
And he goes, "Get in the hole." I said, No. He's getting the fucking hole. He goes, "No, I'm not doing it." So in front of all these fucking people and all these caste societies, he jumped in the fucking hole, stuck his hand up the fucking pipe, grabbed onto the rods. After the dugout trigger, pulled it out, goes, "It's only shit, dude." And he goes, "Tony, you want to see their faces? Oh my God, a white man down the hole touching shit."
Oh man.
I goes, "Did you get the guy down the hole?" He goes, "No."
Wow.
He goes, "Tony, I nearly got fired." "Why did you take all these people off the production line?" But you know, I do really admire my friend Graham for trying such a social experiment. But at the end of the day, my point I'm trying to express is the only caste in Western civilization is your ability to exceed, and your ability to succeed is kind of slighted by your intelligence, but only ever determined by your ability to work or your willingness to work.
Your willingness
So-
to work, yeah.
Like your willingness and your eagerness to work will always. You could be the smartest guy ever, be a lazy fucker. You know, the hard work guy is always going to win. But in a Western civilization, hard work actually does something.
Oh, I can guarantee you, from my position as an educated and slightly intellectual person, I can guarantee you there are a lot of millionaires that are absolute morons.
Well, I actually can tell you one thing: they're absolutely not morons, but they're not intellectual and they're not smart.
Well, that's what I mean. Is if your IQ is 85 or something, go for it. You can be a millionaire. I've seen millionaires whose IQ is no better than 85, and they're walking around.
I would add one thing. You can have an 85 IQ, but you can only become a millionaire with an 85 IQ if you have principles.
Yeah.
You have to have principles, and that's why principles are important. It's because they work when you're not looking.
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah. So, like you have to have. If you have principles, people respect it.
Yeah,
They're
they're
predictable, and people can hire you and stuff. And people say, "Well, you know, like I have guys that work for me. I have guys that work for me that I value more than other people because I can predict them." You know what I mean?
yeah. No, I like that.
I
Principles.
can really tell the guy with all these elaborate plans, but he doesn't fucking do them. What you need is a guy who fucking does what he says. You can predict and you can build up predictable. You don't put a block of ice as your cornerstone on a pyramid. You know, you put it on something you know will be a cornerstone, whether you're looking or not. So that's why people with principles generate more money, because they're more valuable, because they're predictable. You don't have to be reinventing the wheel every day, because ideas are shit. Execution is everything.
Yeah.
Unless you can execute an idea, forget about it. You know, like everybody fucking came up with. I guarantee there's been 5,000 people came up with the idea of Uber before a guy actually went out and fucking did it. You know, so ideas are perfect way to illustrate it. Someone asked Elon Musk, who did he favor, Edison or Tesla? And he said, Edison. Now we have all this shit. Tesla was the greater genius. He was the greatest man. Blah blah. Because Tesla was a genius, but Edison put the products of that genius into the people's homes.
Right.
So that's what it's all about. It's you can be as smart as you want, but is there a practical application for everybody else?
Yeah.
You know, that's what it's all about. Is practice. Like you can live in the cloud all you want, but can you actually help someone? That's the most important thing. Can you actually? Do you have an idea good enough that can be practiced? And have it like pie in the sky stuff is fucking great. You know what I mean? John F. Kennedy said it better than most people I've heard. He said, ideals are like stars. You cannot touch them with your hands, but if you use them as your guide, like the seafaring man, you will get to your destination.
Oh, very nice. That's a good analogy again.
So ideals are wonderful, but you got to get up out of bed and fucking do something.
Ideas have to meet reality. Yeah, they definitely can't stay ideals. You have to bring them to reality and say, how am I going to apply my ideals in this reality as where I live?
Exactly. And as well, are they worth bringing to reality?
Yeah.
You know, you have to have a filter. It's like we all have a stupid invention that's not going to change anyone's lives, you know? And it's like the difference between the Greeks and the Romans. The Greeks lived in our heads, but the Romans lived in our arms. No one is. Everybody talks about the Romans are successful because they were practitioners. They didn't think about shit. They went out and done it, and then they fucked up and they tweaked it.
They didn't have to think about shit. The Greeks did that. They just studied the Greeks.
Beautiful, but they didn't advance it either, did they? They just went out and done it.
They worshipped it. They just worshipped it.
But they got tweaked and got it better.
They went on for 800 years doing brilliant shit, so they didn't do too bad of a job. Yeah,
But the Greeks came up with the ideas. The Romans came up with the laws.
Yeah, they were a legal society. Yeah, that's really their contribution was laws. They didn't give us mathematics or science or anything.
So what I'm saying is their application of ideas is what made the Romans brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that's what I'm saying. The application of an idea is what's important.
Right. Yeah.
So an idea is Greek, application is Roman.
Right.
So that's the whole thing.
Well, the objectivists hope to marry those and not divorce the mind from the body. I mean, Aristotle...
Do you know what the problem with the objection says?
What's that?
We have yet to see a fucking multi-billionaire dude on the create a new service saying, well, I've done this with objectivist ideas.
There's B&T Capital. They were one of the very few banks that didn't want to take money during the 2008 thing. And
neither did Ford.
You should listen to that guy. He's an objectivist, and he talks about what the inside of that situation looked like. The government came to them and said, you're going to borrow $5 billion. And they said, no, we're not. We've got $14 billion cash on reserves. We don't need your money. And they said, well, it's going to make every other bank look even worse if you don't also borrow the money. So we're going to borrow it to everybody.
Let me ask you a question. Was the CEO an objectionist, or was the company built on objectionist ideas?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I suspect it's an old, maybe objectivists. Please put in the comments what the history of B&T Capital is. Maybe I should do a video on it. The guy is great. I forget his name at the moment.
So right now, I think the objectionists are Greeks. and what you need to do is transition to be Romans.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there's the leftivists are definitely floating in the sky Platonist, idealist, rationalistic Greeks. Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah. So you need to cut the shit and say, all right, dude, the philosophizing is over. Let's get this body of knowledge and let's fucking do something with it, or shut the fuck up. Because guess what? Free market. No one gives a fuck.
right.
Nobody cares.
That's right.
So I mean, but here's the deal. I mean, there was wonderfully enlightened Romans. You know, they were beautiful. Like Seneca was brilliant. You know, it's like if you read Seneca, you're like, fuck, nothing has changed. The human condition is always the same.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I get from.
Which is nice as well, but it alleviates your arrogance.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're like, well, fuck. One thing that really I enjoy knowing is I live better today than a 17th century king. Those dudes didn't even have toilet paper.
Did you think
or anything?
It occurs to me though that I, as a poor man in America, live better than Putin does right now because he's afraid for his life every second, and I'm not.
No, exactly. A tyrant will never know peace.
Yeah. Not only Putin, but Xi Jinping too in China. Who knows what day he is just going to disappear and never be heard from again.
And God bless Donald Trump. He's like, fuck it.
Yeah. You know, I love Trump. You know, he gave a concession on these red flag laws, and then he immediately starts tweeting about people that he thinks that should have their guns taken away summarily without justice. You know?
Exactly. You see what he's doing?
Yeah,
everything the man does is beautiful.
Yeah, he's like,
let's do a red flag. So that is why the rule with Donald Trump is you wait at least 2 days.
Yeah, any stupid thing he does, wait 2 days.
If you have any kind of a brain at all, or you've watched TV at all, and you understand what Donald Trump is doing at all, you gotta understand one thing. Wait 2 days, dude. He gains the. He is not trying. He's not lying. What he's doing is he's gaming the media cycle.
Yeah.
You know. And there's one cycle you cannot game, and that's my battle. So I gotta go for a piss.
Okay.
I'll be give me 25 seconds.
Oh, you're good. That's all right. You're fine. In fact, I'll step away from the computer for just a second too.
So, one of the genius masterstrokes of Donald Trump is that he will concede a red flag and then immediately illustrate why it's a bad law.
Yeah. Yeah, which I was very disappointed with his first move and very happy with his second move.
So now do you understand? Now do you understand the 2-day rule?
Yeah, it's brilliant.
So and as well, there will be absolutely no policy shifts with Donald Trump. There will only be policy progress.
Right. Yeah,
you have to understand that you you are part of the, the intake. That motherfucker. Have you read his book, The Art of the Deal?
Oh, I did a video thing on it years ago. Yeah,
It's brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant.
I loved a lot of it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen it, go search my channel for Art of the Deal.
I I know I'm talking shit about Stefan Molyneux. I do love and respect Stefan Molyneux, but Stefan Molyneux did say one thing I loved. He was like, he said to the Democrats, he was like, I mean, you know why he's playing you so well, but only if you read his book. He's doing everything he said he was going to do in his book. He's doing it to you right now. And they're just like, they can't even. It's hilarious.
Blows their mind. Hey, I'm drawing just a couple little quick lines on here to darken a couple things. See if you recognize this.
Do that.
Recognize this? Let's see if I can get it.
That's beautiful. Did you do that?
Yeah.
Very nice.
You posted the picture of you were visiting somebody's house. This was last fall, I think.
Oh, that's probably my wife's house.
Yeah, was that what it is?
Ireland, yeah. Oh, put it up. I know where it is. Put it up again. I know where it was.
All right, let me just darken the car tiny bit there.
I'll tell you exactly where that was. I'll tell you exactly where it was.
Those really bright orange trees over there are what made me paint it all.
And that was one of my paintings, or one of my pictures.
A photograph of the house that you visited, and that was your
Yes.
car there.
So it was a wedding I was at.
Oh,
It was
yeah?
a wedding I was at, and my wife's brother was getting married. So his wife, they wanted to get the pictures taken up by our house. And it was an old cottage,
Uh-huh.
and a thatched roof and stuff, and it was beautiful the whole way up.
Yeah.
We were up there, and I was smoking a cigarette, and everybody's drinking cups of tea with saucers. It was just very quaint, and there was no. And I was like, I looked in, and the guy came over. He could see me looking up at to the rafters. The guy came over and goes, "Hey," he goes, "Do you see that rafter?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "A guy came along 2 years ago, and he dated it." He goes, "That log's over 1,000 years old."
Wow.
So it was a log that was preserved in a bog and then put up. So I live in an ancient country.
Nice.
The first inhabitants of my island were 12,500 years ago.
Well, now, so that was in Ireland?
Yeah,
Ah. Huh.
I believe that was in Ireland.
Was it? I don't know where it was. You put up the picture. I just drew it.
Well, I love seeing places, but I imagine that was the place in Ireland. It also could be. I go to New Hampshire a lot. I like getting into the wilderness.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, so the Irish people were there for 12,500 years, and then the Indo-Europeans came. So you would probably what color eyes do you have?
Blue.
Blue. So me and you are genetically related. So 10,000 years ago, there was one man had a blue-eyed mutation, and so we share that ancestor. So then there was the Indo-European. The Indo-Europeans are responsible from civilization from as far as Ireland to India. They're an amazing culture, a horseback culture. And all of our civilization, all our languages can be Indo-European related. Very fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
And it's very funny that all the 18th and 19th century ideas of lineages are all bullshit, and then it turns out that the more ancient annals of the folklore of native countries are actually tying closer to the genetic evidence. It's very fascinating stuff. So, like, my wife is from Donegal, so she's got like one of the oldest haplo-1 groups in Europe. So like you get to somewhere like Russia, it's like I don't know the exact numbers, but basically the concentration gets much higher. So it's very low in Russia. As you get to Ireland, it's much smaller. So people in Russia maybe 1 in a million. Like Western, say Kazakhstan, because it's more linear. And then you get to France, it's like one in 100,000. You get to Dublin, it's 1 in 1,000, and you get to where my wife's from, it's 1 in 10. Very old haplo-1 group. So it's amazing the way we can map stuff out, and I'm really glad that we're doing that. This technology came out right now, because we're going to completely lose our story and heritage once it like in 15 to 25 years from now. Genetic history in Europe is going to be so distorted. Well, it won't really be so distorted. It probably won't be distorted for 50 years, because an Irishman is going to go with an Irishman's going to go with an Irish woman, so on and so forth. So it's going to take 50 years for the cultures of Europe to completely disintegrate. And I don't even think that's going to happen, because I predict a social collapse a lot longer before, a lot sooner than that.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say they don't have 50 years. No way. No, France is toast. In fact, I saw these.
But I disagree. I actually think that America is toast, because the immigrant populations hostile immigrant populations of Europe was about 8 to 12%. But the Anglo influence in America is going to dwindle. It's like I predict that California, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico are going to be completely cartel overrun, ungovernable within the next 10 years. And I predict that the union is going to break up.
California is already California is virtually ungovernable right now.
Yeah, so I see a domino effect, and what I'm actually predicting is that the states bordering that are actually going to have some common sense and hold up the fuck, and they're going to send in fucking state troopers and the sheriffs, say, all right, stay the fuck back. So I think that I think that there's going to be a stop to the malignant culture that's coming across the border. So I believe culture is more than. I believe culture is more than. I think it's epigenetic. It's more than just your thought. It's epigenetic. I think that the Aztecs chopped people's heads off, burned people alive, and all this stupid crazy shit. That's what the cartels are doing. Aztec blood is still in there.
Well, you're recognizing that tribalism is the main force that moves history, but America has sidestepped that, and we have just said we're a nation of laws. Fuck all your tribes.
Yeah, America said they were a nation of laws up until 1965, and then you became a nation of immigrants.
We were a nation of immigrants back in the 1800s. Well, they were all white immigrants from
Where
Europe.
did immigrants come from?
Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was the driving force of Europe? Catholicism.
Yeah, they were coming here for religious freedom. Yeah. Well,
look. No. Listen.
Our only hope is that the brown-skinned people start to buy guns and embrace religious freedom and liberty. That's our only hope.
Dude, see, I believe that I believe that demographics are destiny. Right? So demographics are destiny. All right. So what you're trying to do is saying that the brown people are going to have your culture. No, they're not. No, they're not. Brown people were attracted to the cities your culture created, and then they overcame it, and then they're going to apply their own culture, and then that's the end of it. Look, at the end of the day, you take California, Mexico, you have put an imaginary line through it. They've got the same resources, same everything like that, but what created it was culture, right? It was culture. Culture creates wealth, right? Now, for example, Ayn Rand fucking popped up like what, like 80 years ago?
She was born in 1905.
All right, so 100 years ago, 110 years ago, 114 years ago. So she popped up. We had culture long before fucking Ayn Rand started talking about it. The
Sure.
driving force behind civilization, the driving force behind civilization is culture, not race, but culture. But culture and race are entwined. You know, and there's nothing you can say about it. It's like a perfect example is an Aborigine. An Aborigine is perfectly in tune and inclined to living in the outback of Australia. At night, he's the only human being on the planet that can go into hypothermia and wake up the next day like nothing happened. You could put him in a desolate environment and he can survive and thrive because he knows all the places to get water and all the shit to eat. We would be dead. Put an Aborigine into New York City, he would be dead in 2 weeks.
Or up by the North Pole where the Eskimos live, too.
Yeah. Well, you know, they're Inuit. That's racially insensitive. Actually, there are people up there who call themselves Eskimo.
Well, I've never seen
Another
it.
guy Eskimo. The reason they got pissed off is one guy was an Eskimo, one guy was an Inuit. So it's the same thing as calling an Irishman an Englishman.
Yeah, I've never seen an Inuit pie, though.
I've never seen a fucking. I've never seen an Inuit castle. I mean, we've got the same fucking shit up in Norway. We got a lot of castles up in Norway. But what I'm saying is no, this is really going to piss you off. The defining factor of Western civilization is we have the Greek thought, and we have we have Roman law. So that's our ancient is Greco-Italian.
Uh-huh.
Greco-Roman, right? And then we have the European nations. So we have people built for adapting and surviving in harsh climates, and their willingness to learn and their hardiness. You know, like we figured out we didn't have to be stronger than the mammoth. We just had to fucking have pointier teeth, and then we could figure out. So the master hunter mind of the Western European combined with the Greco-Roman legacy, then matched with the society building hierarchy of Christianity. The West was unstoppable. As soon as you put a man, woman, children at the base of your hierarchy, mother, father, children, at the base of your hierarchy. As soon as you had that hierarchy, then you had the high IQ and cunning Western European nations, and then you had philosophy and law. It was unstoppable.
The philosophy is built into the Christianity. The Christianity comes from Greek philosophy. So insofar as Christianity...
Greek philosophy predates Christianity.
That's what I just said.
Yeah. So it is Greek philosophy is absolutely logos. It's logos.
Plato said that there's one perfect thing in heaven for all the individual things on earth that are just accidental versions, and that's God in heaven, and we're all just individual versions of the spirit of heaven. That's Plato's...
Hang on, you broke up there, but did you just say Plato?
Yeah, Plato, he said...
He's a bitch.
He said
right? So there's two forms of government. There's Aristotle or Plato. There's Aristotle or Plato. Christianity plays to Aristotle.
No. No, because they have a philosopher king in Christianity.
Yeah, which is God the Creator.
Yeah. That's what that. See, Plato said that there's a perfect thing in heaven, just one.
I'm bitching.
Joanne, this is on YouTube.
Okay, I'm bitching. Can you like call out me bitching?
No, I can't. We talk about this later. My wife gets in trouble to talk shit about people on the phone all the time.
Okay, but I'm like a little bitching.
Yeah.
Can you like exit out the background noise?
No, I can't. So, look, so, no, hold on. So, go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay, so Plato said there's a perfect thing in heaven. One perfect thing in heaven. And
like a chair.
And and on earth there's a bunch of individuals that aren't perfect. And that's Christianity.
No. Bullshit.
There's God, and then there's a bunch of individuals on earth, and none of us are perfect.
Hang on, that's your argument? Hang on, say that
That's
again.
Plato.
That's the be all day long argument?
Christianity is bastardized Platonism.
No, Platonism is the republic, the tyranny.
Yeah, because
no.
you just
Christianity is Aristotle. It's the understanding and the attempt to really embrace the world for what it is.
Christianity started to hold on to Aristotle basically because of his logic. Right? They worshipped him because of his logic, and that held them all the way through the Dark Ages. So.
It inspired them. So hold on. Let me enlighten you here. So you got to understand one thing, right? We're only talking about Catholicism, right?
All right.
So so here's the thing, right? So up until 500 years ago, you had that's where you got your first Protestants and all those assholes, right? Now, we have Catholicism and we have the Orthodox Church. The Orthodox Church is perfectly fine with mysticism. They're like, oh, cool. It's like, I don't need to know all the details. I got it. Catholics are like, well, what the fuck are the details? That's why the Catholic monks invented the scientific method. That's because because Catholics believe the closer you get to the truth is the closer you get to God. Because you figure out the environment of things. Now, you don't have to believe in God, but as long as you believe in the truth, that's fine by me.
Yeah. Notice.
Here's the difference. All right, here's the difference. Aristotle was exploring the world, whereas Plato was saying, here's the way the world should be.
Well, notice that religious people who believe in truth are good guys, and religious people who don't believe in truth are bad guys. Like the Muslims said, we only need faith, we don't need reason. Don't use reason.
First of all, in the Catholic doctrine, right? We're trying to discover God, and we're trying to find God's. Some of the best philosophers in the world were Catholics. Thomas Aquinas, all these great people.
Aquinas was Aristotelian. Yes.
Of course, exactly.
Yes, precisely.
Right? Okay, so, but Islam means submission. That's the end of it. We're done. Case closed. We've got it figured out. It's over. We got it. No point to think anymore. Just live, rinse, wash, repeat. Yeah. But the Catholic mind, and I'm going to say, I'm pulling away from saying Christian right now because, I mean, I'm actually just going to, I'm actually not a devout Catholic, but I'm actually respecting the logic of the faith a bit more daily. And I think I'm actually going to go back to Mass. But I'm going to go back to Latin Mass.
Don't do it, Tony. Don't do it. The sky is empty.
I'm just saying that I'm after discovering that being an atheist is intellectually lazy.
No, it's just look. The sky is empty. There's nothing there. That's just the tough bones about it.
But are you utilizing all of your reason?
Yes.
No, you're not. No. You've been indoctrinated to believe that there's only certain types of reason. No, you can use reason that hasn't been written about. You can use your own reason and logic.
There's only one type of reason.
Because Ayn Rand said so.
Aristotle said so.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying to you is use that. I mean, it's like, when was the last time you actually devoted to actually thinking independently of anybody else? Not thinking about anybody or thinking about anything.
Well, every day that I say unpopular stuff, I think I
So
show
you're
that I'm doing
thinking
that.
about your popularity then, aren't you? When was the last time you were able to think about things with your five senses and look at the world and think about things?
When was the last time?
Maybe you've never done it. Maybe you should do it for the first time.
I don't know what you're talking about. You have to give me an example.
You'd have to do it for yourself. You'd actually have to sit down and say, okay, I'm not going to think about anything. I'm going to sit down here and I'm going to be something and I'm going to observe reality with my five senses. And then I'm going to see what do I think about it. And then you're going to say, oh, how the fuck can this be? When you question the very fabric of your own thought, then you can begin to fathom the complexity that there may be something going on that your 6-pound brain won't be able to comprehend.
I can never.
Because the 6-pound brain it's impossible for us to fathom the entirety of the universe.
I can never comprehend anything besides what I can understand.
But the attempt of understanding something uncomprehendable that's where you find God.
That's what we call blowing the hippie noodle.
Well, blowing the hippie noodle and the peace and solace a man finds in understanding the grace and beautifulness of a creator is another thing.
Well, what if we weren't created, and what if we're just here, and it just gives you comfort to think that we were created for some reason? Is that still okay for you to believe that?
It's really illogical.
Is that
It's really illogical. It just doesn't make sense to me.
for us to be here?
It just doesn't make sense to me. Look, you're talking to somebody who debated making the confirmation in a Catholic country when I was fucking 12 years of age. I was like, I'm not doing it. So it's like I'm compromising on my values. I'm compromising my values if I, at age 8 or whatever, or at 12, whatever age where I make the confirmation, I told my friend, who goes, I really don't think I can make my confirmation. I'll be compromising my values. And he said, really, you're going to miss out on all that money? And I goes, fuck it, I'll do it. I was in then. No, but I know all the debates against God. I know all that kind of stuff. And I know all the reasoning. I know all the logic and stuff like that. But reason and logic are only, they're only like a minute part of the human experience.
The rest of it is terror. Everything outside of reason and logic is horrific.
No, it could be a bowel movement.
Huh?
It could be a bowel movement. It could be the fact your fingernails grow. It could be that you grow very well thinking about it. Or it could be you understanding that maybe, just maybe, if you applied the model of creation to the world, it might make better sense to you than if it was just an accident. If you rationally apply a model to the world that there was a creator, the world may make more sense to you.
You can't rationally
random accident.
You can't rationally apply the idea of it. You can't rationally apply the idea of a creator. Period.
Why not?
Because there's no evidence. There's no evidence for it.
Huh?
There's no evidence for a creator.
There's no evidence. I disagree. What do you classify as evidence?
Like a note or something?
Like testimony?
No.
Oh, so as an objectionist, you outline what evidence is, and we'll go from there.
Like a little note, a sticky note or something, with his signature on it or something.
I know what you want me to say. I'm not going to say it. So what do you justify as evidence?
How
many times has that worked before though?
Stuff that I see with my own eyes is what I describe as evidence.
Oh, okay. Me
or
too.
with my own
No,
senses.
and what about no? Do you have experiences that you can't articulate with words?
Well,
Ever? Has that ever happened to you?
let me give you an example of where I stand on things that I can't verify with my own senses. I don't believe in string theory and I don't believe in dark matter because they haven't given me anything for those. I do believe in black holes and I do believe in the expansion of the universe because there's something there, at least that I can see with my own eyes, that makes sense. I don't know if the expansion of the universe is true or not. Maybe that's an illusion. All right.
Well, you know what? That's a fairly good basic point. Now, I don't believe in string theory either, and I don't believe in dark matter, and I don't give a fuck about them. But I do believe in the human experience. I do believe in the human experience, right? And it is just illogical for me to believe that we are so brilliant, so compassionate, and so connected emotionally. We have music, we have poetry, and everything. I think that there's a higher, beautiful thing at work. Now, you might say things logical and stuff. That's fine.
I think
But
we act like a bunch of
I
monkeys.
can't articulate. I can't articulate the beauty of humanity. But if you want to attack that, let's go.
I think that we act like a bunch of monkeys on the whole
Yes, we
planet.
do, and I think bunch of monkeys are pretty cool.
Well, very very few of us act well. I mean, think of the fact that you and I are sitting here discussing how all of Western civilization traces back to Aristotle.
Well, it does.
That's pretty scary. What if he would have been killed by some maniac before he got started? Then where would civilization be? I mean, it's pretty scary to think.
We wouldn't admit it. We would still be fucking. Pottery would still be the high end of our culture.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
scary to think how important one individual can be.
It would have been. But what you failed to realize, is when we had philosophy. Western culture is the ideas of the Greeks, the practicality of the Romans, right, and the intellect of the Europeans, married with the culture of Christianity. That's what created the West. It was a fucking fluke. Take away one of those things, there's no West. There is no West. Take away one of those underwriting core elements, there is no West.
Well, it seems to me that Christianity was strongest during the Dark Ages, and as we came out from under Christianity and
I'm sorry, was Isaac Newton in the Dark Ages?
no, he was in the Enlightenment.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. Was Francis Bacon in the medieval period?
The Dark Ages ended with Aquinas.
Thomas Aquinas is brilliant.
Yeah.
You know what? The Dark Ages get a bad rap because what they done is they whittled out the scum with a plague here and there.
The Dark Ages were terrible. They were they were only slightly better than
you know what
Islam.
You want to experience what the Dark Ages are? Go visit a society that hasn't been steeped in Christianity for thousands of years and go live there. Tell me all about it.
Yeah, no, I think the Dark Ages in Europe were probably better than a lot of periods in a lot of human history, a lot of other places.
Dude, I would rather live in Dark Ages Paris than be a white man in Cape Town right now.
Whew. That would be, I think I would go with, I don't know, that's a tough choice, but being a white man in Cape Town is not a happy thing.
Look, so would you agree with my statement that the combination of the West is based on Greek thought, Roman law, European intellect, and cultural Christianity?
Insofar as the Christianity is Greek, yes.
Well, Christianity, Saint John, when he went to the Greeks to convert them,
St. Paul.
Was first father. It was St. Paul.
On Mars Hill, right?
Yeah. St. Paul. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Thank you. when he went there, he spoke a beautiful word. When he was explaining the Bible and to them, he said, us as Westerners, we'll hear, in the beginning, there was the Word. But when St. John, right? St. Paul?
St. Paul.
St. Paul says, because Greek is a beautiful language, ancient Greek is a beautiful language, and it's many different meanings. Many different meanings. So before I get to this beautiful epic thing, do you know that Italian has like 33% less words than English? That's why they use our hands so much. Every word is a different inflection. That's why they express themselves physically so much, because they have less words. English has so much words.
Yeah.
So you have to understand the different languages, different things. So when Paul went to the Greeks, we have it in our English language now because in the beginning there was the Word. But when Paul went there, he says, in the beginning there was Logos.
Nice.
And Logos is order, word, it's everything. Logos is understanding, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So there's an order to the universe. There's an order to the universe.
Well, if I were going to believe in it,
Christianity is a great attempt at understanding it. You're using pure reason, which will only get you so far. Pure reason won't mend your broken heart.
I have a poem for that.
Okay, I want to hear it then.
If happiness is difficult obtained, recall the reason humans are so strained. As Darwin pointed out, we are evolved to reproduce. No further problem solved.
Commander Data. Perhaps perhaps you should need some more hours on the holodeck regarding poetry. I think I've got a book up here my father wrote. My father writes poems. Can't find it right now. But you know that was the coldest, most logical poem I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, and it gives you
logic is beautiful. I mean, logic is or it isn't. That's what's so good about it, you know. But you have to understand as well. We're objective beings having a subjective experience.
Yeah, but understanding the objective nature of your experience gives you a perspective. Like you break up with a beautiful girl you've been with for a year. So you're fairly close, but you're not getting married and whatever. So it's hard to break up. And so you're wondering in the back of your mind, you're like, why am I going so crazy about this girl? Like, why do I keep thinking about her? Now, if you just realize that your ancestors who got these connections and then stuck together, those are the ones that had kids, right? And raised their kids. So we are the descendants of people. You've frozen. Have I lost you? Oh, you're okay. So we're the descendants.
Back to the part that your ancestors had kids.
Yeah, we are the descendants of people who fell in love and stayed together and had strong bonds. So strong bonds are simply what we've inherited by being what we are. So those strong bonds aren't some sort of magical, mystical thing. So if you understand the reason for them, then you can sort of wave your arm and go, okay, I understand why I've got such a strong bond, but I still need to do what I need to do and get away from her because she's an empty airhead.
So, hold on. So why do you need to do it?
Because she was an empty airhead.
No. What do you need to do?
Break up with her.
No. What is your greater mission?
Oh, happiness. Happiness,
yeah. Oh, I actually seen you put one of my lines on one of your podcasts or one of your Google Hangouts.
Oh yeah? Which one was it? What was the line? I mean,
it's the only thing we attain in upon itself. And then you Googled it, and it was Aristotle. So I ripped it off from that guy. So I don't think that Aristotle was an atheist.
No.
I think he was the most logical being in the planet, and as well, I'm not going to deny myself of I'm not going to compartmentalize myself into a logical or an emotional or a spiritual. I can be all. Fuck it. I'm only here once. I'm going to do it all. You know what I mean?
well,
It would be illogical not to do it all.
well, you won't know what to do if you're not logical.
Well, I might know what to do spiritually.
What if it's illogical?
Well, what if it all comes together and triangulates?
That doesn't sound logical.
Well, there used to be triads in all forms of government before. Well, look, logic is only as good as our framework. You know, it's our moral standpoint is all based on our spiritual morality. Like if we're cannibals, like sometimes the logical thing to do is eat the guy next door to you.
Are you using logic to prove some point right now?
No, I'm using rhetoric. I gotta go over a smoke. But yeah, I would love to so I love to be able to switch from rhetoric to dialectic, and you're well able to do that. I've seen you do that when you're thinking.
What do you mean dialectic? You mean asking questions to get people's view?
I was like, it's 1 + 2 = 3, blah blah blah, logical thinking, framework, and understanding.
Yeah.
That's only useful when you're talking to another dialectical thinker. But the most effective way of communicating an idea is rhetoric. You know, I actually have a book up here called Speeches, and it's rhetoric is an amazing thing. There was one time there was a guy brought a guy to court because he said he killed his dog. He brought his name to court, said that his neighbor killed his dog. Now, there wasn't a lick of evidence, but the lawyer, I wish I could find the book, the lawyer just done a speech for half an hour about how dog was man's best friend, and all his books about dogs got the guy convicted. No evidence. And it was only after the fact that said, wow, the power of rhetoric, you know. There's speeches in there by Teddy Roosevelt, who was a brilliant speaker. Brilliant speaker.
Yeah, you had to be back then.
It was like, so here's me and you talking about rhetoric, dialectic, and we're talking about, oh, well, is there a God, not there a God? It was part of a classical education in Rome that you had to have the ability to persuade people. You had to be able to make a speech and persuade people.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's coming out today now. And you see guys like Stefan Molyneux. Well, yeah, he mightn't be able to pull the wool over our eyes, but he's getting everybody else. You know, because he's using rhetoric.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it is. He's probably making a lot of money. Probably making 10 grand a month off the clicks.
Yeah, he's got a lot of
followers. It is an
followers.
important skill in Western civilization.
That's true.
And as well, for me as a salesperson for a plastering company, I got to use rhetoric. I got to sell people. So I mean, that's not logical, but it's beneficial to me. And as well, if you feel spiritual about something and it makes you feel better as yourself, well, why not? Why not have that? Why? It would be illogical to deny yourself a feeling of wholesomeness.
Even if it was a lie?
Yes. It would be illogical to deny yourself that, even if it was a lie.
So just find a lie that makes you feel better and then believe it.
Well, first of all, how do you know it's a lie?
Okay, I feel better because I've got a diamond the size of a refrigerator buried in my backyard.
So is that, when you hold that refrigerator, do you feel closer?
I've never held it. I've never dug it up. It's buried back there.
Okay, well, I have dug up my diamond, and I have that diamond in me, and it makes me feel better.
So I'm okay with that, with just having that belief in that diamond in my backyard?
No, because you're not actually engaging with that diamond. I'm engaging with my belief.
What if I fantasize about that diamond all the time and draw pictures of it and mentally caress it?
What you're doing is you're actually purposely stunting yourself in spiritual growth.
Um,
I'm not talking about an inanimate object. I'm talking about my spiritual growth within myself and in the world.
no, I'm talking about a belief that's not true. I'm having a.
Well, I understand, because guess what? I know you don't have a diamond inside your fridge. But
I believe I do. And that makes me feel better.
let me ask you a question. Why does it upset you that I find solace in a career?
In a career,
No. Why does it upset you that I find solace in a career?
just in your belief in God. No, I'm not upset by it. I'm laughing more than I'm upset.
Can you step on, please?
Yeah, I'm talking to this
Can we
problem.
hang up? Can you guys just talk normal, please?
No, I can't. I'm gonna go for smoke. So you're laughing. What are you laughing at?
Your belief in God, it doesn't upset me. I'm just, I'm comparing it to believing in a diamond buried in your backyard.
Hold on, I'm gonna go for smoke. Hold on 1 second.
I'm sitting here having a smoke. Where you got to go for that?
Well, first of all, it's completely illogical to not believe in God. Completely illogical.
What's illogical? I missed that part.
Not to, if you think there's no God, that's illogical.
There is no God.
All right, so what I'm going to say to you, though, I'm not talking about forget the Bible, forget Genesis, forget the Quran, forget all the mysticism. All right, we're two dudes, we're sitting down. All right, let's do a thought experiment here, all right?
All right.
Me and you know nothing. We're in a box. We're right here. The only two things that exist is me and you. Hey, Cropper,
Yeah.
what the fuck's going on?
I don't know. We'll have to check this shit out and figure out what's going on here.
There's nothing else here, dude. Figure it out. There's only me and you. What's going on?
I don't know. What's the next step? I don't know what to do.
Yeah, you don't know what. So what you do is go inward.
What do we know inside? We know nothing. We only know what we know from reality.
Okay, so the reality is that what we know, as far as we know, is that I'm here, you're here, no one else is here. So, where do you come from?
So I can't say that I came from my mom.
No, you don't. We're in a box. Just right now, me and you are in a box. That's it.
All
So
right. I came from Tony's assumption. I came.
That's very good. I like that. You fucking dickhead. All right. Well, like, I mean, so you're saying that there was something outside this box that created it, then, huh?
Yeah.
There must have been an assumption of some sort for us to have this idea.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say God is the assumption then.
Well, then that's meaningless. All that is an exploding bunch of energy.
Well, disregard it. Let's go back to the box. All right. So it's me and you in a box.
Okay.
Hey, what's up? What's going on? I'm in a box. Who are you? Proper? It's only me and your world. That's it. What's going on now?
I don't know. Apparently, just me and you are going on.
So, well, how did this all start?
A ball of white hot energy began expanding.
Dude, we're in the box. What evidence do you have of that?
The cosmic microwave background radiation.
Dude, I thought we were just in the box.
Well, I don't know what I can figure out in a box.
Exactly. You don't know what you can figure out inside a box.
But we're not really in a box. We're actually in the universe.
which is another extension of a box.
Well, so I can know everything inside the box. So I can know you and I can talk to you in our...
It's impossible for you to know everything inside a box.
Well, maybe not everything, but I can know something.
Yeah, exactly. But what you have to do is you have to leave your mind open that there may be something else inside the box.
What if your brain falls out while your mind's open?
What if your brain wasn't here? Would the box still exist?
I don't know. The box is your assumption.
What if there was no assumptions?
Well, we know the universe would exist without us because it was here
What
long before us.
with the universe? We're in the box.
I don't know what we can do in this box.
So basically, what you're saying is you don't know. I 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 don't know. But all you're doing is you have a piece of string and you keep pulling on it, and you never know the answers. So you believe that if you keep pulling on the string, you will find a concrete answer. I'm assuming that no, I'm not assuming. I'm acknowledging I will never know what's on the other end of the string.
Well, you're claiming knowledge about the other end of the string then. I say I will know what's at the other end of the string.
I'm saying it's possible for me to know it.
But you've just claimed to know it.
No, when? Show me what statement did I make?
Because I say it's possible, but you say it's impossible. So you're claiming to know about this string.
So all right. So there's three captains on a spaceship. They're looking at a star.
Where did the string go?
What I am saying is my concept of God is that it is just like I was like, fuck it, something happened, and whatever happened was beautiful. All right, let me put it this way to you: have you been created?
No.
So you don't exist.
I came to exist.
No. Did you ever ask yourself how you came to exist?
I evolved.
And how did the method of evolution come to being?
By accident.
What created that accident?
It's an accident.
Well, there you go. That is the fundamental flaw in not believing in creation, because you say, well, it was an accident.
Yeah. No, there's this chemical reaction on the surface of clays where they reproduce the shape of the surface. And all...
So, a great story one time.
Okay.
God was talking to a man. A man said, I can create life. Without you, God, I don't need you anymore. He said, okay. I can make life without you. It's all right. And they said, okay, go do it. So then he went down to get a handful of earth to create life. And then God said, aha, get your own earth.
Okay.
Well, that's the ending point. It's like you can define things to the end of the world, but there has to be a point where something was created.
At the beginning of the Big Bang?
How can you go from nothing to creation?
Well, if it is the case that the redshift is an illusion of space or time or energy, then we might be living in a static, permanent universe of some kind. But I don't think there's very good evidence for that. I'm pretty sure that we are a battery that's running down. We're like water sitting at the top of a hill running downhill. That's what the universe is.
Who created the hill?
See, I think the hill exists.
So what you believe in is, so look, here's the deal. You can get all the religious people you want in the world, and you can get all the scientific people you want in the world. But we all are going from the same starting point.
Well, you want to back the starting point up and say there's a person or a mind there. I don't want to start there. I just want to start with rocks and shit.
Who created the rock?
Nobody. The rocks exist, and
It
then
doesn't have to be a person.
no,
Let's say I'm saying that there's a divinity in a rock.
well, then you reduce divinity to the mere existence of the universe, but all there is energy. And
You said it perfectly. You're actually correct. I have actually reduced divinity into the fact that we have been created.
well,
Right? So I
Spinoza,
find divinity in that.
you're in good company with Spinoza. Then that's Spinoza's God. So and you know,
Fuck Spinoza. I don't need to know who Spinoza is for me to have my five senses and look and analyze the world with my own reason. I don't need to know who he is. What I'm saying is, through my own reason, I have deducted that I've deduced that, there has, no matter how scientific you are or how spiritual you are, the scientifically minded man and the religious man will always come back to the same point. We could have done this thought experiment for a million years, and we will always get back to the infinite point is we both don't know what the fuck is going on. The difference between me and you is I'm just like, fuck it.
I didn't say I don't know what's going on.
There is something greater than I can possibly know.
You just claim knowledge about it then when you say that.
Well, you can't claim any higher knowledge than me because we both are starting from the same point.
Right, but at least I admit that.
Oh, I'm admitting it too.
No, you're claiming to have knowledge about this greater thing out there. You say that we can't know about it.
At what point did I ever say that I understand?
You said we can't. You said we can't know it. We can't understand it.
Yeah, we can't.
Well, that's claiming knowledge.
So
you must understand something about it then.
All right. So let me answer the question. What I understand and I claim to know is me and you don't have a fucking clue what's going on, but I choose to enjoy it and you choose to question it.
So
but it's the same point.
So you're happy in your confusion, but I'm happy in my clarity.
Well, you're assuming it's clarity when you don't know any more than I do.
So don't you feel jealous of my clarity and happiness?
Don't you feel jealous of my all-knowing?
You're confused. You're not all-knowing. You just said you can't.
What am I missing then?
You just said you can't ever know.
We can't. It's impossible. It's illogical for us. It's illogical.
But you must know about this stuff then in order to know that we can't know.
No. Hold on. Do you know what there was before there was?
I say that I say that things are.
So you're saying things are.
Yeah.
I'm saying that I'm going one step beyond you, and I'm saying before things were, there must have been something.
And some other thing. Yeah, that's all. But you're.
That's what I'm reducing divinity to.
Look, a mind is an evolved event inside of a brain to help an organism stay alive. And you have taken the idea of a mind and said that you want that to be the first idea in the universe, a mind.
No. Regardless if me and you ever existed, or humanity ever existed, or a mind ever existed, would a rock exist?
Rocks also are evolved. The first thing early on was just energy.
So where did energy come from?
No. There's energy.
No, but where did energy come from?
Things come from the fact that there's energy.
So where did energy come from?
There can't be a... But why would the mind...
Dude, where did energy come from?
Why would the mind be a starting place?
I'm not talking about the mind. Where did energy come from? Let's go back to first principles. Where did energy come from?
The first principle is that energy exists.
Who came up with the first principle? That mind. We're not talking about mind. We're talking about where the energy comes from.
There can be nowhere it came from. It just is.
Okay, so what you're saying is basically the just it just is.
Yeah.
I'm saying
That's what
yes,
you're gonna.
I understand the just is, but I'm saying
That's where.
the just is the just is divine.
That's what you're gonna say. You're gonna say that it's just the divine or the God that just is. So you're gonna end up saying the same thing.
I'm not saying that you have to circumcise your son.
Where-
I'm not
okay.
saying don't eat meat on Friday. I'm just saying that existence itself cannot be explained away. It is what I'm basically
No.
saying is existence cannot be explained away with logic.
It's the basis of It's the basis of explanation. Now, how are you going to explain God? Where did He come from?
You're starting for a point just is. I'm going one step before that and saying, where the fuck did just is come from?
You're on no solider ground because who invented your God? Where did He come
I
from?
never said I was on the solid ground. I'm saying I'm one step beyond you.
Yeah, into nonsense. So
I am saying nonsense. Yes, I am saying nonsense, and
I got him to say
I am
it.
logically understanding that it is nonsense, and I can't know it. I cannot, and you cannot know what came before just is.
No, there's no such thing as before there just is. There's no before.
But there had to be.
No.
Why?
Because it's illogical for it not to be.
See, you claim we can't know anything, but then you've got this knowledge about where the universe came from.
I never claimed. I said I don't know. It's the mystery.
Yeah, now you're telling me all this stuff you know about it.
I know one thing that. So you come from Utah, right? Bunch of Mormons.
Uh-huh.
Right, so I have a buddy, right? I went to school with, and he's a Mormon. So he came to visit me. So he was a Mormon. So what I did is I researched everything about the Mormon church. And I said, this shit is ridiculous. Joseph Smith and all that stuff. So he came up to my house. He visited me from Ireland. And so I started pulling the piss out of him saying, oh, you're a Mormon.
They don't know their stuff. They don't even know their own beliefs.
Exactly. So I told him, well, do you know that you're going to get your own planet when you die? Like, what are you talking about? He goes, yeah, you're going to get your own planet when you die. He goes, no. Then I pulled up the website, and he goes, no, you have to go onto the official website, because this is the official website. and then because the Mormons had a thing where their beliefs are so ridiculous that they had to back away from it.
Yeah.
And I ridiculed him so much about his belief in his religion. Then he turned around to me and he said the most truest thing about religion I've heard in my life.
Okay.
And he said this, he goes, there's not one person alive on this planet who knows what the fuck is going on.
That's because he never met me.
Yeah, well, you couldn't answer the question of what was before there is.
No, there's no answering that. You can't answer it either.
Exactly. So there is no answering all that. So I just say, well, fuck it. But I know logically there has to be something.
No,
logically
no.
there has to be something.
Well, just a thing, not a mind.
Yeah, well, a mind is creation of the universe, right?
No.
So the universe didn't create your mind.
A mind is the thing that happens inside of a brain on Earth.
And Earth was created by the universe, and we cannot figure out how the universe came into being.
I did.
No.
I figured it out. I know it.
No, you don't. Look, at the end of the day, you can take all the scientists you want in the world, take all the religious leaders in the world, you take everybody, and we will all argue to the end of time back to one point and how did it all start, and nobody fucking knows, and that is a fact. So I am saying that I've thrown in the towel, I give up, and I say I will never be able to know it. Henceforth, there is something beyond my comprehension that created the world.
Well, every time I feel
And that is what I call God.
Every time I feel sad or depressed or scared or happy or delighted, I just think...
That's a human emotion that you evolved.
Yeah, any of these, I just think, wow, how amazing that I'm just an evolved little detail, a speck in this huge universe of dust and gas that knows nothing about me.
Exactly. So we actually agree.
Okay.
I can't contradict you. Everything you said was 100% true. Is I just choose to believe that there is something supernatural going on, and supernatural only means it's something I can't understand.
So you just choose to believe in woo-woo.
No, I believe in all the physics you believe in.
But just
But
one
I believe
extra
the
thing.
origins of the. But I believe I don't understand why the laws of physics came into being,
Now, the laws of physics are.
and I agree.
Well, I like all that scientific stuff too. I only have one belief that's irrational that makes me feel better.
What?
I told you, the diamond in my backyard.
Dude, if I feel better, I'm not going to hurt you.
So I can have an irrational belief that makes me feel better?
Except there's one difference. You really do know that there isn't a diamond back there.
I just believe it.
Look, but you really don't.
You really don't.
You can prove there isn't a diamond. I can't prove that there isn't.
No matter how deep I dig down, it's just 1 foot further.
Don't give up. That's all I'll tell you.
No, I don't want to dig it up. It makes me feel good just to believe that it's there. It doesn't have to be true. I just feel better believing it.
That is so binary. It's so black and white.
That's what you're doing.
No. You're intellectually lazy because you've trained your mind to be black and white, right or wrong, right or it is just so binary. You're robbing yourself of all your senses.
I should just forget about the yes and no of reality and just go with the woo-woo of the spirit?
No, you should evolve it. You should question what you believe. You should keep digging. And the human mind will always dig. It'll never find that fridge diamond.
All right, Tony, you think we're at the end of our string here?
Well, so it looks like it.
Yeah.
Closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts. I'm going to put this up and we'll see what the public has to say. You can come and see the comments on it, and we'll see what they have to say about your view that we have to have something before existence. And
there has to be a mover, right?
no, because then where did he come from?
But you won't know. What I'm doing is I'm relinquishing the breadth of my knowledge. My human brain cannot understand it.
So you say you don't know where the universe came from, so you're going to invent a guy to stand there to do that for you, and then you're going to stop thinking about it.
The guy you're talking about is a representation of mystery.
Well, I stop before I get to him, and I just say the universe exists.
Yeah, you don't. You just want to go from there.
There's no place before that.
There is nothing useful for you before that.
There's nothing before existence.
But existence always was.
It has to have been, yeah. Couldn't have come from anywhere. Certainly not from some man or something, or mind.
So the eternal existence is what you believe.
Yeah.
I believe there's divinity in that too.
There's no room for divinity in that. It's going to take too long to just do the existence thing. We don't have time for divinity.
It's not about a podcast, dude. But listen, my closing thoughts are this.
All right. Thanks a lot, Tony. Watch for it on my show, on my channel. I'll put it up soon, and you can rewatch it and have a laugh. And I always go rewatch these things after I post them, so I know I'll be doing that.
I'll be cringing.
Thanks a lot, Tony. Have a good night. We'll do this again soon, right?
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Have a good night. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed that.